Heartland fans, the moment we have all been waiting for has finally arrived. After years of heartbreak, unanswered questions, and emotional turmoil, Ty Borden is back. The episode begins with a peaceful yet melancholic morning at Heartland Ranch. The golden hues of the rising sun stretch across the sprawling fields, casting long shadows as the horses graze quietly. The ranch is calm, yet there's a strange, almost unsettling stillness in the air, like the world is holding its breath, waiting for something to happen. Inside the barn, Amy Fleming is lost in thought, brushing Spartan's mane with slow, rhythmic strokes. The familiar scent of hay and leather fills the air, but her mind is elsewhere. The weight of the past few years still lingers heavy on her heart. She has learned to live with the pain of losing Ty, learned to smile through the ache for Lindy's sake, for her family, for herself. But deep down, in the quiet moments like this, when the world isn't watching, the sorrow still surfaces, a ghost of the love she lost too soon. As Amy continues her routine, something shifts, an inexplicable feeling washing over her. A soft breeze brushes against her skin, carrying a faint yet unmistakable scent, one that makes her breath hitch in her throat. Spartan suddenly lifts his head, ears pricking forward, nostrils flaring as if sensing something Amy can't yet see. Her heartbeat quickens, a strange, nervous anticipation bubbling in her chest. And then, in the distance, the unmistakable sound of hoofbeats echoes through the morning air, slow at first, steady, then growing closer, louder. Amy freezes, every nerve in her body alert. The familiar rhythm of a horse's gallop, strong, confident, yet carrying something unspoken, sends a shiver down her spine. She turns slowly, almost afraid to look, afraid that her grief-stricken mind is playing tricks on her again. And then she sees him. At first, it feels unreal, like a dream, a fragment of a memory she had desperately held on to for too long. The sunlight casts a golden glow over the figure on horseback, making it hard to see clearly. But as he gets closer, as the dust settles, his face comes into focus. Amy's world tilts. Her breath catches, her vision blurs, her hands tremble so violently that she has to grip the barn door to steady herself. Her chest feels tight, her heart slamming against her ribs. This isn't possible. It can't be. She saw him die. She mourned him. She built a life without him because she had to. And yet, here he is. Ty Borden is right in front of her, alive. For a long moment, neither of them moves. The world around them seems to fade, the sounds of the ranch distant and muffled. It's just the two of them, caught in a moment so surreal, so deeply impossible, that Amy doesn't know whether to run toward him or collapse under the weight of her emotions. Tears spill down her cheeks before she even realizes she's crying. Ty, still on horseback, watches her with the same expression, raw, vulnerable. His own eyes glassy with unshed tears. The pain, the longing, the years of separation, it's all there, written in the way they look at each other. Finally, after what feels like an eternity, Amy moves. She doesn't walk. She doesn't hesitate. She runs. The distance between them disappears in an instant as Amy throws herself into Ty's arms the moment he dismounts. The sheer force of her impact nearly knocks him off balance, but he holds her tightly, gripping her like a lifeline. The warmth of his body, the familiar scent of leather and pine, it's too much. Amy sobs against his chest, clutching him as if afraid he might vanish again. Ty's arms encircle her, his own body shaking with silent sobs. He buries his face in her hair, whispering, "I'm here, Amy. I'm here." His voice is thick with emotion, hoarse, almost disbelieving. They stand like that for what feels like forever, wrapped in each other, the world forgotten. As the reality of the situation sinks in, the rest of the family begins to react. On the front porch, Jack Bartlett, who had been drinking his morning coffee while watching the sunrise in quiet contemplation, freezes mid-sip. His normally steady hands tremble, and the coffee cup slips from his grasp, shattering against the wooden planks. He blinks rapidly, as if trying to clear his vision, convinced his old eyes must be deceiving him. But the truth is undeniable. Ty Borden, his grandson-in-law, the man he had grieved as if he were his own son, is back. Jack takes a shaky step forward, his breath coming in uneven gasps. His voice, usually strong and unwavering, cracks as he mutters, "You better not be a ghost, son." Nearby, Tim Fleming, known for his rough exterior and stoic nature, stands frozen near the paddock, gripping the fence so tightly that his knuckles turn white. Knuckles turn white as his mind races, searching for logic. This isn't possible. It shouldn't be possible. And yet, there Ty stands alive, breathing very much real. A deep exhale escapes Tim's lips, and for the first time in years, he doesn't have the words to cover up his emotions. Instead of his usual sarcasm or gruff remarks, he simply mutters, "You sure took your damn time getting back." But his voice betrays him. Beneath the tough exterior, the relief is evident. Inside the house, Lo and Georgie arrive at the ranch at the exact moment the impossible reunion unfolds. The sound of their car doors slamming shut echoes loudly in the otherwise silent yard. Lou's breath catches in her throat as she stares wide-eyed, her mind flooding with memories, years of pain, the heartbreak Amy had endured. She had been Amy's rock, helping her navigate life without Ty. And now, he's standing right in front of them. Georgie, ever the strong-willed fighter, clenches her fists, struggling to process what she's seeing, the disbelief, the overwhelming emotions. It's almost too much to handle. But the most heartbreaking reaction comes from Lindy. The little girl who had only known her father through stories, pictures, and whispered bedtime prayers, stands at the doorway, her tiny hands clutching the frame. She doesn't move at first, unsure, hesitant. Her small voice, barely above a whisper, utters "Daddy." And that single word shatters everyone. Ty drops to his knees instantly, his arms wide open, his voice breaking with emotion as he chokes out, "I'm here, baby girl. I'm so sorry I wasn't here." Without hesitation, Lindy runs straight into his arms, sobbing into his shoulder, her tiny fingers clutching his shirt as if afraid he'll disappear again. Ty holds her like his life depends on it, whispering, "I love you, sweetheart. I've always loved you." As the family gathers around, the emotions are overwhelming. Jack, still teary-eyed, steps forward, gripping Ty's shoulder tightly. Lo, her earlier shock replaced with raw emotion, pulls Ty into a crushing hug. Even Tim, who rarely shows affection, embraces Ty, clapping him on the back, his usual tough demeanor cracking just enough to reveal the relief beneath. As the family slowly begins to process the shocking reality of Ty's return, the world outside Heartland Ranch continues to move. But for Amy and Ty, time stands frozen. The sun, now higher in the sky, casts golden light across the land, but neither of them notices. They are caught in a moment that feels both surreal and impossible, as if one wrong move could shatter the fragile reality they are barely holding on to. After the emotional reunions with Lindy and the family, the ranch gradually settles into silence. Jack, Lou, Tim, and Georgie step back, sensing that Amy and Ty need to be alone. Lindy, still holding on to her father tightly, eventually drifts off to sleep in his arms, exhausted from the overwhelming emotions of the day. Ty gently hands her to Lou, who carries her inside, leaving Amy and Ty standing alone beneath the old oak tree, the very place where so many of their memories were made. For the longest time, neither of them speaks. The air between them is thick with unspoken words, with questions, with years of longing and heartbreak. Amy's eyes, still red and puffy from crying, search Ty's face as if trying to convince herself that he is really there, that he is not just another dream she will wake up from. Finally, her voice, small, shaky, and filled with raw emotion, breaks the silence. Ty, how? Just one word, but it carries everything: her pain, her confusion, her disbelief, her desperate need to understand. How is he here? How is he alive? How could he have let her believe he was gone for so long? Ty takes a deep breath, his hands clenched into fists as he struggles to find the right words. His voice is hoarse, thick with emotions he has been holding in for what feels like forever. Amy, I never wanted to leave you. I never wanted to leave our family, but I had no choice. Amy's brows furrow, confusion flickering across her face. Her arms wrap around herself instinctively, as if bracing for whatever he is about to say. What do you mean you had no choice? I watched you die, Ty. I held you in my arms. I buried you. Her voice breaks, and she presses a hand to her mouth to stifle a sob. Ty steps closer, his hands trembling as he reaches out, gently placing them on her arms. Amy, listen to me. What you saw that day, it wasn't the full truth. I was shot. I was dying. But at the last second, there was a slim chance that I could survive. The doctors knew it was risky, but they had a way to save me. The only problem was, I had to disappear. Amy's breath catches in her throat. Disappear? Her mind reels, trying to piece together his words. You mean they faked your death? Ty, why? Why would they do that? Ty swallows hard, his jaw tightening as if the memories are too painful to relive. Because the people who shot me, they were still out there. It wasn't a random accident, Amy. It was a hit. Someone wanted me dead, and if they found out I was still alive, they would have come after me. And worse, they would have come after you and Lindy. Amy takes a shaky step back, her mind spinning. No, Ty. That can't be true. Why wouldn't anyone tell me? Why wouldn't Jack or Lou or anyone know? Ty's eyes fill with regret. Because I begged them not to tell you. The only way to keep you safe was for you to believe I was really gone. I thought it was the only way. His voice cracks and he runs a hand through his hair, his frustration evident. Do you have any idea how many nights I lay awake, knowing you were crying yourself to sleep? Knowing I was breaking your heart? Knowing I was missing our daughter growing up? He lets out a shaky breath. It killed me, Amy. Every damn day. But I did it because I couldn't risk losing you both. Amy's tears flow freely now, the weight of his words crashing down on her like a tidal wave. Ty, do you have any idea what I went through? I lost myself. I tried to be strong, but I wasn't the same without you. Lindy grew up without her father. I had to learn how to live without you. And now you're just here? Her voice rises, the emotions finally boiling over. Do you know how unfair that is? Do you know how much I wished for this moment, only to be told it was impossible? Ty's face is filled with guilt, pain, and love all at once. I know, Amy, and I hate myself for it. But I swear to you, if there had been any other way, I would have taken it. He steps closer, hesitating for just a moment before cupping her face in his hands. I never stopped loving you. Not for a second. Every decision I made, it was always for you. For Lindy. Amy closes her eyes, leaning into his touch, allowing herself to feel the warmth of his hands, the hands she never thought she would feel again. But then she pulls back, shaking her head. I don't know how to move forward from this, Ty. How do I just pretend like none of this happened? Ty nods slowly, his own eyes glistening. I don't expect you to pretend, Amy. I don't expect you to forgive me right away. I just need you to know that I'm here. I'm not going anywhere this time. If it takes weeks, months, years, I'll wait for you. I'll do whatever it takes to fix this. To fix us. The silence that follows is heavy, but different from before. It is no longer filled with disbelief. It is filled with possibility. The road ahead is uncertain, filled with questions, pain, and healing that will take time. But for the first time in years, hope flickers between them. Amy stares at him for a long time before finally whispering, I don't know if I can forgive you yet, but I don't want to lose you again. Ty lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, and for the first time in years, a small, hopeful smile touches his lips. Then that's enough for now. And as the sun continues to rise over Heartland, illuminating the vast landscape that has always been their home, Amy and Ty stand together once more, not as the same people they were before, but as two souls willing to fight for the love they once had, and maybe, just maybe, can have again. And there you have it, Amy and Ty's heartfelt conversation. A moment filled with love, pain, and hope for the future. This reunion wasn't just about Ty coming back. It was about two soulmates finding their way back to each other after years of heartbreak. The road ahead won't be easy, but one thing is certain. Their love has always been strong enough to overcome anything. What do you think about Ty's return? Do you believe Amy will fully forgive him? Or will their love story take a new turn in Heartland Season 19? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your theories and predictions for what happens next. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Heartland's most emotional moment, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update on all things Heartland.